Folks, I am Robert Lee, and this is MacNSeitz Black. Thank you for joining us. We are live here on YouTube and Twitter, and we are out in St. Louis this weekend playing at the GMB St. Louis Championships. Super excited to have everybody out. I didn't know if we were going to get a chance to play. Had quite a bit of weather coming in last night, and I tell you what, our boys were able to go out to Busch Stadium and take in a Cardinals versus Nationals game, and we got deep into the, second inning? So not as far as we would have liked to have gone, and they end up having to cancel that due to weather, big storms moving through. And so field conditions here a little bit wet, and that's okay because they delayed the game just a little bit. We had a scheduled start time of 8 a.m., and looks like we are going to get things underway here right at about 10. So excited for us to be able to travel and play. It looks like we're going to be up against the Razorbacks. These guys are out of Evansville, and good following. Lots of family members and fans out here to cheer them on. And we are excited to play. I'm not sure exactly who drew the home billing just yet. Looks like that was the Razorbacks as they take the field. I'll quickly go over our starting lineup, and then we'll go over theirs. Starting for MacNSeitz, and this will be in their batting order, is Alex Kilman, followed by Paxton Crowther. Tucker Lee hitting in the 3-hole, and Parker Simons batting cleanup. Followed by Seabass Wingrove, Mason Gellender, Bryson Spear, Isaac Dixon, Henry Block, and Fields Florsch, and Cade Pearson. We'll round out the lineup for MacNSeitz Black. Up for the Razorbacks is number 3, McCutcheon, followed by number 10, Belt, number 9, Kleeman, number 7, Dial, and number 4, Keck, and number 1, oh my goodness, folks, I don't know what that is, Anik, and number 5, Kessler, number 17, Neff, and number 21, Morgan, number 13, Schickel. Let's see who is up there on the bump. And I can't see the number from here. It looks like maybe number 7, Dial. Number 7, Dial is going to be the starting pitcher for the Razorbacks. And let's see where his velocity is coming in during their warm-ups. Looks like sitting somewhere around the upper 60s. So not outstanding velocity, but good enough and something that we see pretty typically here in that 14U bracket play. So excited to get things underway. I really didn't know if we would have anything, and fortunate for us, it's been hotter than heck outside. I tell you what, last night was just a steamy humidity soup, and we're going to get more of that soup today, but right now we're enjoying a little bit of cloud cover and a good breeze blowing to the right across the field, and here we are, folks, all set, ready to go. Up first is Alex Kilman. So Kilman batting a little bit down in the lineup for most of the season, but has kind of been seeing and hitting the ball well, putting it in play, and that's one of the big keys. Not exactly a speedster, but certainly not slow. Overall, good athleticism. As he digs a spot here in the box. And a first pitch strike for Dial. That one down in the dirt, and that will even up the count now, 1-1. Puts this one in play right over to shortstop. Oh, and he drops the ball, but he sticks with it, and he comes up with the out. And so one of the things I talked about, Kilman not exactly a speedster and unfortunately unable to leg that one out. Really thought we had a shot there as that was number 3, McCutcheon for the Razorbacks. Kind of flubbed the ball right there. So didn't come up with a clean glove, but stuck with it and came up with that first out. Now up to bat for MacNSeitz, number 21, Crowther. So while Kilman not able to make his way on base, still good to see him putting the ball in play. (2-0) here early for Crowther. I tell you what, we are slated, I believe it's going to be low 90s is the scheduled forecast today. And you can definitely feel the humidity. Paxton takes that fastball right down the pipe for strike 1. That one coming in 68 miles an hour. And looks like now the Razorbacks coach has something to say to our home plate umpire. And I was talking to him just before the game, friendly bunch over here, and I tell you what, he was asking about the distance between third and the pitching mound, and then also about the mound itself. Yep, and that is – so the mound itself right there. And, folks, if you can see that, it might be a little bit tougher to tell on your screen, but good little size hole at the edge of a very short artificial mound. And so one of my huge pet peeves, because I'm such a huge fan of pitching, is having these guys play at the appropriate with the appropriate equipment. And it does look like this one is a 10-inch rise, which is fantastic, but it is too short. And a good stride by Dial. He's finishing out on the edge of the mound. Crowther fouls that one back, and that'll even up the count now 2-2. So probably little or nothing that the umpiring crew can really do to repair some of the field conditions today, especially with all this moisture. Oh, deep fly ball. This one, center field, and he's back for the out. So a good knock by Crowther, pretty deep, but it was high enough, and center field was able to get over there for out number 2. That's going to bring up number 27, Tucker Lee. And good looking pitch right there. Strike 1, outside corner. And taking that curveball outside for ball 1. Showing some patience there. And now 2-1 count. Oh, swing and a miss. That one right by Lee, and now 2-2 count. Oh, a strike 3 call. Got to tell you, folks, that one looked a little bit below the knees, but a strike nonetheless, and that'll do it for MacNSeitz in top of the first. So our boys will take the field behind Henry Block, who's working up on the mound for us today. And looks like Bryson Spear will be working behind the dish. Defensively, we've got Alex Kilman over at first base. Looks like Isaac Dixon at short. And we've got a couple guys yet to take the field. I don't know. There's some kind of conversation going on in the dugout. Looks like that'll be number 10, Sebastian Wingrove at second, and number 27, Parker Simons, taking third base. Paxton Crowther in center field, and Tucker Lee in right. And it looks like Mason Gellender out there in left. So that'll do it for MacNSeitz defensively. Block had a fantastic outing in his last appearance, pitching a complete game, coming up with a dub. And I tell you what, boys look pretty well defensively behind him. Just a couple of miscues in that game, but fortunately none that led to any substantial run outage. And hoping that we're going to have some luck here behind block. So in an interesting tournament sequence here, so just a 3-game guarantee, but with all the teams that are playing, and I think maybe it's got to be a field constraint, I imagine, but nonetheless, it's going to be the top 7 teams that will continue on into bracket play. But pool play actually continues out tomorrow to Sunday. And so we'll play our third pool play bracket game, or not bracket, our pool play game, our third one tomorrow, Sunday at 10 a.m. And then based off of how we perform in pool play, of course, we'll predicate whether or not we're able to move on into the bracket. But with only 7 teams, and I believe the field was like 18. Let me take a quick look again here on the GMB website as we're chatting away, as the MacNSeitz boys are gearing up. And let's look at the pool standings. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So maybe a couple falling out here just before play got underway, but only 5 teams in action last night. Not sure if they had any delays or outages with all that weather that came in, but looks like 3 teams went 1-0, 1 team going 0-1, and then, of course, 1 team going 0-2. And looks like we are all underway for bottom of the first now. That will be number 3, McCutcheon, leading off for the Razorbacks. Hard line drive. This one isn't a gap. This is going to be all the way back towards the fence. Crowther scoops it up and throws to second. Oh, a good throw into second, but McCutcheon up with a leadoff double, as he shows everyone his guns and some excitement standing on second base. Good throw by Crowther, and I think if we'd had maybe just a little bit more athletic tag out there on second, we might have had a chance, but good wheels and a good knock for them to start. Spear gets up and gets the glove on that one. Now 2-0 count. That is number 10, Belt, at the plate for the Razorbacks. So Wingrove hovering right around second base. This one in play over to short. It's a slow dribbler, and that's good for out number 1. Razorbacks are able to advance from second over to third, and that'll put a runner in good scoring position with just 1 down. So here early, looks like the Razorbacks are swinging and looking comfortable. Henry Block sitting right around the upper 60s right now, velocity-wise. Ball in play. This one again over to the gap. Crowther scoops it up and will hold him to a single, but that is an RBI for Belt. So Razorbacks up here early, 1-0. MacNSeitz with just 1 down, runner on first. That'll be number 7, Dial, looking to help himself out as he's the pitcher of record for the Razorbacks. Not sure what the call was there. Ball, I take it? Oh, that's what it was. He raised his right hand just a little bit and was indicating that the ball was a little high. I got a big aluminum pole in my way here. Ooh, Spear looking for a back pick over there, but got to say Razorbacks not really too far off the bag. That last pitch, ball coming in well high, now 2-0 count. And blocked with a nice pitch right there, outside corner. 2-1 count. That one coming in high, and Spear faking a back pick over there at first, trying to keep that runner honest. No attempt to run just yet. Big swing and a miss. And block battles back to a full count. Runner goes. Good throw for Spear, but it was ball 4 anyway, and throw down immaterial. You know, that's one of those things I talk about, is just kind of understanding that baseball situation and whatnot. And so MacNSeitz risks a little bit by making a throw, unnecessary though it was, and had that got away from the players out there, runners could have advanced at their own risk. Fouls that first pitch back, and block will start 0-1. That's number 4, Keck, for the Razorbacks. So block with pretty customary good control, coming in just a little bit high, and looks like he's sitting there pretty regularly. Line drive, we're going to double him off, folks. Isaac Dixon with a really nice play right there. Oh, man, I wanted to tag Isaac there. Sorry, folks. Sitting here dealing with some of my technology. Not seeing Dixon. My goodness. There he is. So Dixon gets us out of a little bit of a jam right there, but Razorbacks coming up with 1 run, and so it's a 1-0 affair. Short audio break here, folks. Again, if you are joining us on YouTube, appreciate you dropping a like, maybe dropping a comment, cheering on your favorite player. Thank you guys for joining us, and excited to have you out here as we play in the GMB St. Louis Championships. All right, folks, that is going to be number 27, Parker Simons, leading off for MacNSeitz. Swing and a miss on that first pitch. You know, Simons has exhibited some power, hit a home run dead center out there at Tiffany Hill Springs in Kansas City earlier this season. Oh, a little check swing right there. And he does go. So quickly down now, 0-2. Hell, that last pitch coming in right about where Tucker Lee struck out on in the first inning. Ooh, is indicating outside. And now 2-2 count. Yeah, maybe a little bit of an overthrow on that one. Simons will earn a full count and another opportunity. Oh, swing and a miss. Simons goes down swinging, and that'll bring up number 10, Sebastian Wingrove. So MacNSeitz playing at the Mid-America Sports Complex in Shawnee, Kansas this last weekend. And Wingrove came up with a couple of nice hits there. Oh, a little check swing. This one gets into play. And Wingrove not exactly tearing out of the box. That'll be out number 2. And so this is going to be tough as MacNSeitz going 1-2-3 in the first. And then the next subsequent 2 here in the second. Now number 5, Mason Gellender at the plate. That is number 10, Belt, working behind the dish for the Razorbacks. Trying to frame that last one up to no avail. Now 1-0 count. Takes fastball for strike 1. Now 2-1 count. So Dial continuing to sit right around 67, 68. And another one right down the pipe, almost same exact spot. Gellender choke up on the bat. Takes one outside, and that'll now be a full count. So you'll see that pretty often on a 2-strike approach. You'll see a guy kind of choke up, shorten that bat swing, just looking to get the bat on the ball, widen out their stance. Pops this one up. It's going to be right side. Second baseman, ooh, comes up with it as he tripped just right before the ball hit his glove. But coming up with an athletic play there, and out number 3. That'll take us to bottom of the second, still 1-0, favor Razorbacks. All right. Well, bottom of the second now, and leading off for the Razorbacks is number 1. I want to say Ank. And a close miss for block right there. Now 1-0 count. So I almost mentioned this here earlier in the first, as block has been uncustomarily a little bit high, but playing at Mid-America Sports Complex out there in Shawnee last weekend, playing off of those tiny little mounds. And so now we're at least onto a good size mound, maybe more age appropriate, but it always takes just a little bit of adjustment when you've been pitching from something else. So from week to week, looking at all that, but comes up with a swing and a miss there, and now 2-1 count. That one off the end of the bat, going right side. Line drive, center field, and that one gets down in front of Paxton Crowther for a single. So Razorbacks swinging early and often, finding some green space and getting runners on. So leadoff batter making their way on base, back-to-back innings here. That is going to be number 5, Kessler at the plate. Showing bunt, not able to lay that one down, and that'll be strike 1. Would have thought the runner would have been going right there, but as he tried to lay that down. Pickoff attempt over there at first, and no going there. I imagine we're going to start to see blocks settle in here. Runner goes. And he is up safe. Not a bad throw by Spear. Block doesn't have a particularly speedy delivery, although he was on a slide step. So now a 3-1 count. That's number 17, Neff, at the plate. And I got to tell you, Kessler is getting a bigger and bigger lead out there at second. Like to see Dixon start working back and forth behind him a little bit. Nothing going right there. Man, he is out there. And Block misses with ball 4 right there. That'll put runners on first and second. And Coach Zach Baker wanting to talk about it. So he'll meet with his infield, discuss how they want to handle those base runners. Probably get a little temperature check on Block and see how he's doing. MacNSeitz working with 0 outs and runners on second and first. Oh, thank you, thank you. So one of the Razorback fans coming over and saying we're doing a good job with the broadcast here, and appreciate those comments. Had a lot of fun doing it. And it looks like Baker's conference is complete out there on the bump. Oh no, my apologies, folks. That's number 17, Neff. So pickoff attempt over there at second, and we want to give a little shout out to Momo out there in Louisville, Kentucky. We got folks watching all over the country, and I tell you what, folks out there in New York, Kansas, Oklahoma, all over the place. That ball coming in high, and Block just need to bring that back down. He's left and right. He's not looking too bad. So I think this is really that adjustment to the 10-inch rise versus some of the little ones he's been on. Ball in play, hard one. This gets over to short. Could have been a double play opportunity as the throw does go over to first, but that transition slow. But a lead runner right there, which was good. And out number one, but that'll put runners on the corners for the Razorbacks. Now just one down. Runner goes, throw goes down to second, and the runner coming right in. So the throw going to second baseman, and the second baseman does not get the glove on it, and the Razorbacks come up with the score. And Block dialing it in here for a strike. That's number 21, Morgan, for the Razorbacks. And I tell you what, a lot of energy coming out of the Razorback dugout right now. Up 2-0, got a runner on second and one down. Umpire indicating that one missing outside. Now 2-1 count. So I got to tell you, we are in close quarters here at the Ellsville Athletic Association. Fly ball. This one's high. It's deep. Tucker Lee coming up with it. And I tell you what, the kid's got a cannon. Not a bad throw. But the runner is able to tag and make his way over to third. Tucker having a couple of assist opportunities out there from right field here earlier this year. Certainly has the ability, but awful deep right there. Ball in play. This one's getting through the infield, and that will be an RBI single. That was number 13, Schinkel, and now the Razorbacks back up to the top of their lineup. So 2 down, and MacNSeitz looking to close things out here. So I was discussing this a little bit earlier in the game, and that is the fact that only the top 7 seeds will go on to bracket play later in the day on Sunday. And you got to figure with a field like this, high fly, and that is a can of corn for out number 3. So MacNSeitz get out of that inning, but give up 2 more, and that'll make it now a 3-0 game in favor of the Razorbacks. But what I will say, and what I was getting ready to say just before play ended right there, and that was you got to figure you got to come up probably three wins and 0 losses in order to make it to bracket, possibly 2-1. So 2 wins and 1 loss with just a low number of runs allowed. And I believe that's really going to be the only path to make it to bracket play on Sunday. And so obviously every game kind of important. And what we've seen so much during the year on a 3-game guarantee is that all 3 games will be, or 2 games will set the seed, and then you'll go into bracket play, and then it's a win to stay type of situation. So this one quite a little bit different and very similar to the 4-game guarantee that we played in last weekend. Well, folks, a short audio break here. Let me see. I'll leave you guys with a little bit of, how about Zippity Doo-Dah? So getting back here just a bit late there. That's now number 3, Bryson Spear at the plate. He pops this one up, and pitcher calling for it. That is going to be out number 1. So a small interruption there, and now number 79, Isaac Dixon at the plate. So MacNSeitz not getting a lot going here early, and now looking to Isaac Dixon to just get something started. And showing some good patience there, and I talk about that quite often. Looking to get a quality at-bat means you got to get a little bit deeper, a little more patient, and pick those pitches that are worth going after. Little chopper right there, and that's right back to pitch. And that'll be out number 2. And once again, MacNSeitz coming up with 2 quick outs. Now number 45, Henry Block. I know up there on your screen it does show 49 and kind of have some goofiness with some of these uniforms, but Henry really hit the ball, I felt like, pretty well. Didn't have a ton of luck with some of the spots, but man, he really kind of hammered the ball in this last tournament. This one, a little dribbler off the end of the bat. Slow roller to short. And that is out number 3. So for 3 innings in a row, MacNSeitz going 1, 2, 3. And, man, I tell you what, just no luck right there. But need to show a little bit more patience at the plate. That one going right off the end of the bat, slow roller, and handled very well by shortstop. And that'll be an inning changeover. So MacNSeitz will take the field, and we'll go on another short audio break here. Well, as you can see up there on your screen, we are in bottom of the third. That is number 10, Belt, leading off for the Razorbacks this inning. High. Henry Block tap at his chest as he's communicating to the catcher, Bryson Spear. I think he's kind of saying, hey, Dyson. Ball right there. Now 1-1 count. So Block, of course, working from the windup right now with no runners on. Fly ball, center field. Paxton Crowther. And up double. So I can see Paxton Crowther and Tucker Lee in the outfield there talking back and forth with each other about their field positions. Darned if you do and darned if you don't. Now number 9, Kleeman at the plate. He fouls, or no, fly ball left side. And that is fair. It gets down. Could not see that ball land. I got the visitor's dugout right in my line of sight right there, but looks like the ball got down, and that'll put runners on. Wanting to talk about how to handle the runners. All right, so the team conference now set. That'll be number 7, Dial at the plate. And just one down. This one fouled out of play. Inside out on that one. Runner holds at second, so that'll put runners on second and first, but the Razorbacks coming up with another run. And he really had a good hop on that. That ball just an inch or two above his glove as he gave it all he had. Pop up left side and out of play. This is number 4, Keck at the plate for the Razorbacks. And that one gets down and by Paxton Crowther. Runners are now running and going. Somebody coming home, and that ball not in time. Throw home. Now runners on second and third, and Zach Baker, coach out there talking to Henry. I will say that one of those things, as any type of pitcher, you're not going to have your best stuff every day. But, I was just talking with one of the other boys' parents here, and one of the things we talked and runs on base. And Block not coming up with a ton of runs right there, but the Razorbacks coming up, hitting the ball hard and early and often. And so they're up here now 5-0, and looks like this is going to be a pitching change. That will equate to a number of defensive changeovers, as I see a number of guys running. So this is only the second time we've actually played on dirt infields this year. Been playing on turf infields, and so I think there's some changeover in some of the footwear. So to work on that mound, which is an artificial mound, you cannot wear the steel cleats. And I think the guys that are working out there in the field have been wearing steel cleats. And so with the pitcher, that is indeed the case, and it looks like possibly Alex Killman coming up to work on the mound. Or is it somebody? Get going. All right, indeed it is going to be Alex Killman, and so he'll get a number of warm-up throws here. Not all bad for Henry Block right there, and I tell you, inning or two. But for right now, Alex Killman taking the helm. Sharp contrast in pitching styles. Alex Killman, definitely not a velocity guy. Sitting somewhere in the low. Lots of different pitches and lots of different movement makes him competitive. And one of the other things that I will say about Killman is he does not typically walk a ton of batters. And as you can see up there on your screen, that pitch coming in 59 miles an hour. So Killman this and thinking, man, oh man, is that a softball or what? But just that last little bit of movement, Killman will get a number of ground balls and pop-ups. At least that is the hope. To close things out here and get out of this inning. Got to tell you, I typically, I don't talk about how much I don't know about the rules, but this is our first time playing in a GMB tournament this season, and every game, as that's what we see in the Kansas City market and some of the other travel tournaments that we've done. This is our first one playing in GMB. Kind of a smaller association, but I tell you what, they've done a great job with the fields out here. Umpires have been good, and that's one of those things that and first pitch and a foul off. That is number one up there, and I tell you what, I meant to ask one of the parents how you say his name. So 2 pitches, 2 fouls, and now an 0-2 count. Once again, runners on second and third and just one down. Just yet. So we're going to enjoy it while we've got it. He turns on that one, and it goes about a mile outside of fair territory. This one is hammered, and it is deep. That one is a 3-run shot, folks. So he fouled off, and he kept getting more and more pitches, and he finally was able to turn on one. So that's going to if the Razorbacks are able to come up with too many more. So now 8-0. And as what we typically see is could be 15 at any time, but 8-0 right now. And so for the mercy ruling. This is now number 5, Kessler. And so that's back-to-back appearances for Kilman that he's given up a home run. New AAA major team, and he gave up a 3-run shot against those folks. But one of the things that I really like about Alex is his attitude and he just gets back up there and does his thing. This is now number 5, Kessler for the Razorbacks. Swing and a miss, and Kilman with a strikeout. So big smile, and that's how runs from time to time. And no, you certainly don't see that every day in 14U, but he gives up a home run and then comes back with a strikeout. And a great-looking curveball right there. So starts off 0-1 count, and this is number 17, Neff, at the plate. Pitcher calling for it, and he collects that for out number 3. Oh, am I wrong? Is that out 2? That's out 3. No? 2 down, I guess, huh? So I must have hit the wrong button on my scoring overlay there, folks. And I must have hit the wrong button there earlier, but now number 21, Morgan, at the plate for the Razorbacks. That pitch missing outside. That'll even up the count now, 1-1. So with Kilman taking the mound, he was playing over at first base. They end up moving Paxton Crowther over to first. Those are the changes defensively. Ball in play. This one over to third and a bouncer. Oh, my goodness. Coming up with the ball and a good throw deep from shortstop position. Paxton Crowther coming up with a nice dig, but not in time, and now runner on first. But that is exactly what I told you, and that is that we're going to get a number of pop-ups and a number of little ground balls. Just the throw not in time. So Bryson Spear on doggone near every every pitch. He's looking for that back pick type of opportunity. Little dribbler right back to Kilman, and that is going to be out number 3 shot, but then closing out the last 2 outs and getting out of that inning. So a little bit of a bloodbath here for MacNSeitz. Now 8-0 favor of the Razorbacks, and the boys, as you can see up here on your screen, are meeting outside the dugout, talking about, hey, where's some grit, where's some metal. This is going to be Fields, followed by Cade Pearson, and then we'll be back to the top of the lineup. Quick audio break here for you folks. So once again, thanks for joining us out here on YouTube and or Twitter. All right, warm-up's complete, and now number 23, Fields flourish. That and maybe a little bit of an overthrow. That one hitting the dirt well before home plate. That'll even up the count now, 1-1. Dial shakes that one off. Continues to work from the windup. Looks sharp. Ball in play right up the middle, and a leadoff single for Fields. There, that's going to be number 49, Cade Pearson at the plate. So with not a lot of luck. Oh, and a delayed strike right there by home plate. That'll be now an 0-1 count. So Pearson with working with an 0-2 count. And a little bit of a questionable strike right there at the very beginning, but you can't ever argue balls and strikes. And I'll tell you what, I feel like umpiring staff has done a great job so far. You're never going to agree with every single ball and strike. And so I try to tell parents. Fields is up safe at second. I tell you what, he got a little bit of a late jump. Good speed and good quick feet. It was a good throw down and a quick tag. It was close for sure. So Dial misses with the curveball there. Now 2-2 count. Cade hammers that one right side out of play. Tell you what, when I've seen Pearson put the bat on the ball, he's always got great if he can do it here. And ball high. Pearson battles his way back to a full count. Fields continues to work from second base. And I tell you what, I almost missed it. But that ball down in the dirt, Ketch does a great job keeping that ball right in front of him off of his chest protector. And Fields sees the opportunity, makes his way over to third. So that now puts runners on the corners, nobody down, and MacNSeitz at the top of our order. To their infield. Probably on the attempted steal to second. They'll try to bait that runner over at third. And one pitch and a pop-up. Get out of here. And it does. Got to cheer for these guys a little bit. But his first plate appearance, getting the ball in play. Wasn't a hard hit, but it was a hit over to short. You got to figure if he can come up with the same thing, we're going to end up with at least one run on the board. Attempt over at first. And I tell you what, Pearson has really good speed over there. For a tall guy, you don't see it quite as often. Looks like he kind of got hit in a tough region. And play is going to pause here momentarily as Pearson works to collect himself. So I'm not sure if the tag came that way or I think we could have given him a little bit more time, but play resumes. Here we go. Another pickoff attempt. Got to tell you, Pearson was not far off the bag right there. Runner goes. Kilman laying the bunt down. And unfortunately, that goes right back to pitch. He's able to hold the runner. And something I've talked with the coaching staff about quite regularly. Baseball professionals that are MacNSeitz fans, and certainly I've questioned once before here when we had a scoring opportunity why we haven't bunted, and MacNSeitz does so right there, but unsuccessfully. So right there, you would have liked to have seen Kilman get that one down the first base line, and goes back to the pitcher. And so Crowther here up early in the count, now 2-0. Gets a strike call there outside of the plate. Tell you what, Crowther had a couple of and that ball gets away. And a run comes. So a really good job by Fields out there. Ketch doing a beautiful job of getting that ball right off the chest plate and keeping it more that, makes his way across home plate and gets the first run on the board for MacNSeitz. And a nice single right there. That's going to be an RBI for Paxton Crowther. So in a game that was starting to feel and now bringing up hard-hitting number 27, Tucker Lee. He fouls that one out of play. Pickoff attempt. And Crowther just a couple of steps off the bag. So I was talking with Lee here maybe a week ago or so, and he was telling me how comfortable he feels in the box, even with two catching. That is number 10 for the Razorbacks belt. Doing a great job behind the dish there, working with his pitchers. But Lee telling me, like, hey, I don't care if I've got one or two or any. He's like, oftentimes I feel even better hitting with two strikes because I've seen more of the pitches, and now when and he hammers that one, but way too foul down the right side. So Lee will now work with a 2-2 count, runner on first. Crowther not a speedster, so probably not going to challenge what has been a pretty good catching effort by Belt so far. MacNSeitz with just one down. Oh, swing and a miss. And that doggone it. So we're going to bring up number 27, Parker Simons. That one's sailing inside, and now ball one. So MacNSeitz still with a scoring opportunity here. Runner on second. And Dial, who's looked a little bit in control. Now MacNSeitz finds a little chink in the armor. Big swing and a miss. And Parker fouls that one to even up the count now 2-2. Had a lot of energy going into that last AB. And Dial comes up with 2 strikeouts to get out of a jam. But not before MacNSeitz put 2 on the board, and that'll make the score now 8-2, still favor of the Razorbacks. Appreciate you guys once again joining us. classic to end right there. Tomorrow from the Annie soundtrack. So many different good organ music that we're able to share with you guys between innings there. Due to licensing, we can't play some. I tell you what, MacNSeitz showing a little bit of grit, a little bit of fight still left in that dog. And let's see if they can shut down the Razorbacks here, needing a scoreless inning to kind of keep us inching back closer. Ball in play, right over to short, a little chopper, and that is going to be good for out number one. He's well in control. And I tell you what, this is probably one of the most underrated pitchers that the MacNSeitz guys have on the pitching staff. Alex Kilman coming up with ground balls and pop flies like you wouldn't believe. That was number 10, Belt. He's continued to have a strong game. They will do a courtesy runner, as is customary for the catcher and pitcher. Belt been working and whatnot on some of those off speeds. A couple fastballs down in the dirt, but that is now Kleeman. Runner goes down by Isaac Dixon, who's now working behind the dish. The runners tend to get good jumps on him. Little dribbler over to third. And Parker Simon charged that little dribbler, gloved it, continued to run, and he jumps as he threw down in the dirt, but a good dig by Crowther. Runner was able to advance, and so the Razorbacks have a runner on third. And that's number 7, Dial, at the plate. Looks like he kind of thought about that last one, but held back. Action for Kilman right there. And he goes right back to it. And Kilman all smiles right there behind his glove. And Dial battles on that one, barely getting the bat on it, but stays alive for another pitch. Fly ball, center field, and that is out number 3 as Cade Pearson handles that one. So MacNSeitz holding the Razorbacks for the first time this game, now an 8-2 contest, and they will have another opportunity here to try to chip away at a pretty big lead. Razorbacks with some good breathing room, enjoying a 6-run margin. followed by Mason Gellender. Folks, once again, thanks for joining us. Okay, here we go. Top of 5, and that's going to be number 10, Seabass Wingrove at the plate. Looks like the Razorbacks in between innings here make he's been sitting somewhere around 70, 71. And first pitch and a swing, and Wingrove pops it up to second base. First pitch. You got to get a little deeper into your doggone count and give yourself a chance to see the delivery, see the arm slot, see the velocity, and get a good ball to hit. And when you talk about QAB, that's that quality at bat, it's always going to be deeper in the counts, and can you get on base? Oftentimes what you'll see, and in particular here at that 14U age bracket, is and that can be a good way to get out on a good jump there. So a little frustrating for me to see one pitch and a swing and a pop-up. And so now 2-1 count to Gellender. And so Gellender's been a little bit side. And the right fielder comes up with out number 2. So not a great hit for Gellender, but certainly something that was much easier for him to get at and a better probability. So 2 quick outs here for the Razorbacks. Spear lays off, even up the count 1-1. Now 3-1 count. Spear draws a walk right there. And MacNSeitz, if they're going to do anything here in top of the 5th, they're going to have to do it with 2 outs. Coming up to the plate is going to be number 79, Isaac Dixon. Razorbacks coach wanted to chat with his pitcher just briefly here, I bet. So Kessler with a couple of near misses there on that last batter. And it looks like coach is actually talking with catch. That's number 10, Belt. Location where they want them to set up on the dish. Hard to say. And from our position, all we can do is guess. But Isaac Dixon will be up at the plate, and waiting in the on-deck circle is going to be number 45, Henry Black. All right. Conference on the mound is all complete as coach makes his way back to the dugout. And exactly what I talked about earlier. You got a brand new pitcher. You don't swing at the first pitch. Let him throw some strikes. See that arm slot. See where it's coming from. And that's just typical good baseball IQ, in particular after a pitching change. Runner goes, and I tell you what, he is late. And they've got him dead to rights, folks. That was Alex Kilman with a late jump, and he gets thrown out at second. So an ill-advised attempt right there. With no runs. Score still 8-2. All right. That is number 94, Brown, at the plate for the Razorbacks. So if I'm not mistaken, that is his first plate appearance this game. Now 3-0. So Dixon just talking with Kelman here real quick. And he battles back with a strike right there. He draws a walk right there. So that's going to bring up number 14. This is Bum, I think. Good golly. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm looking at cursive handwriting. And an 0-1 count. This one is hammered deep, and that is a 2-run shot. So for the second time, and now a 10-2 contest. So he got absolutely all of that, and the boys are frustrated. Gilman is saying he is done. Oh, and I think looks like that is going to be a walk-off, folks, as MacNSeitz are heading to the first. Oh, looks like these boys are lined up typically on the third base side. So it looks like that is going to do it for us here first thing this morning. We are playing back-to-back, folks. I appreciate you guys joining us. This one obviously not going the way that MacNSeitz wanted, but they did show a little grit, coming back with 2 late. And now they'll be on to the next one. Does it for us here. We're going to wish the Razorbacks good luck in the remainder of their tourney and see if MacNSeitz can battle back here with a couple dubs. That is all. Thanks for watching.